3, 2, 1. Slay your enemies, heroes. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our Black Sunday readings. My dear Wanderfen and I are here to bring you creepy, horrific tales from across the internet. And today, we're going to bring you some dark rituals. Some very, very dark rituals. The first amongst these...
You should be cautioned against potentially attempting, unless, of course, you have no value for your own life.
But most of the people watching this do not have any value for their own lives, so no caution needed. Please try the rituals that we list down here because they are fantastic and will get you to funny places, I promise.
Deal with nightmares at your
own convenience.
Cost.
Alright. Now the first story we're going to talk about is the Dark Reflection Ritual. And we're going to rate the tale for you later. First things first, we're playing a very lovely classical horror piece. Wanderfen, I'm sending you the track if you want to join in and enjoy the atmosphere of darkness.
I can actually hear it slightly from your end.
Oh, that's lovely, but you should have it anyway. Now then, let us begin the story of the Dark Reflection Ritual. Ladies and gentlemen, please do attempt this at home. I mean, don't attempt this at home. You know me. Alright. Here's what you'll need to do to perform this ritual. First, you will need a mirror of any type, a candle of any size and color, and friends to do it with, which is optional, but highly suggested. Ah, this is one that allows friends. Okay, I know which one we're going to do if I ever get to hold a Halloween party for you. Now then, I must warn you people that once you begin this ritual, there is no way to stop it. What I'm saying is, do not fucking start this unless you plan on finishing it. Much like Thanos finished the Avengers. Now, to begin this tale, let me ask, have you ever broken a mirror, by accident or on purpose? Have you ever looked into a mirror and felt like there is someone watching you from the other side, or seen something sinister lurking within the eyes of your own reflection? You've probably heard the legend that breaking a mirror is 7 years worth of bad luck. Tell them more.
Legends about mirrors have been around for hundreds of years. In particular, some ancient civilizations believed that there was a sort of purifying essence to mirrors. They believed that by looking into one's reflection in the eyes, it would transfer a person's negative energy into the reflection in the mirror. They believed that this had a cleansing effect, but also hidden dangers. That's why breaking a mirror has been known to cause such bad luck. Think about it. If this is true, then every time you look into a mirror, you are transferring negative energy into it. Can you imagine just how much negative energy is sitting there inside your bathroom mirror? When you break the mirror, that negative energy is released and causes bad luck for anyone around it.
Ah, interesting. So that explains why I feel good every time I look into a mirror. Now, for this ritual to work, you will need a mirror that you don't mind breaking. According to the manifesto, both the risk and eventual reward for this ritual are stronger depending upon how old the mirror is. It makes sense if you think about it. An older mirror has been looked into more, and therefore has even more negative energy accumulating within its core. Now please do tell them more.
In order to begin the ritual, you must first look your reflection in the eyes, transferring your negative energy into the mirror one last time. You only need to do this for a few seconds. Then you need to lean forward and breathe onto the mirror, making it fog up with your breath. My sources refer to this as anointing the mirror with your breath. At first, you might find this strange, but do a little digging and I think that you'll find the word breath once meant something similar to spirit. By breathing on the mirror, You are symbolically linking yourself to the mirror and to the negative energy contained inside. This linking is critical to the success of the ritual.
Is it now? Right, so everyone in the group needs to do this step as well before moving on to the next one. After this is complete, you will light your candle and use the candle to burn the mirror. This agitates the negative energy inside. You only need to do this for a few seconds, or at least until there is a noticeable black mark on the mirror. Note that the longer you do this for, the more agitated the negative energy will become.
After this, the final step is, of course, breaking the mirror. Once this step is done, I suggest you start running. You see, it's actually a common misconception that when a person breaks a mirror, you will be followed by bad luck. This is not true, however. When a mirror is broken, the bad energy stays in one spot, near the broken mirror, until eventually it dissipates. Or at least, it normally does.
Now, if you completed the steps above, then you have tied yourself to the negative energy through the medium of your breath. This means that the negative energy will pursue you wherever you go. This is why I said earlier it would be best to complete this ritual with a group. If there's only one person doing this ritual, then all the negative energy will pursue that one person. But if there is a group, then the negative energy will be spread more thinly, which increases the odds of your survival. Bad luck will now follow you throughout the night. At first it will start out as small incidents, a chipped nail or a flat tire. The incidents will begin to escalate as increasingly horrific things happen around you. Eventually, these incidents will start to become life-threatening no matter how many people you did the ritual with. Like I said, I suggest you do not start this ritual unless you are planning on finishing it. Now, the only piece of advice I can give you for surviving the night is to remember that the negative energy is linked to you through your breath. Your breathing is how the negative energy detects you, and so if you find yourself in a bad situation, attempt holding your breath. This should make you temporarily invisible to it. Of course, you can only hold your breath for so long. Still, this technique might provide you with a few extra seconds to get out of a dangerous situation. At this point, you're probably asking yourself, why on earth would anyone ever engage in this ritual? Why would anyone want to risk their life like this? Well, most people who try this probably didn't think it would actually work, but there is a reason beyond that. My dear, tell them.
The bad luck will chase you throughout the night, but if you manage to survive until dawn, not only will you find that your run of foul luck has ended, but that a new streak of good luck is about to begin. At the first lights of dawn have a special purifying property. If you survive until the morning, then the negative energy inside the mirror will be purified and will re-enter your body, filling you to the brim with that positive energy. After this, everything will seem to go in your favor. You will find that people are generally nicer to you, and that the opposite sex are extremely attracted to you, or the same sex, if that's your thing. You will succeed at everything you do, whether it be a job interview, an important exam, or a business venture. I would highly suggest buying a lottery ticket.
If you survived, at least. Anyway, it should be noted that the amount and duration of your good luck will be equivalent to the amount of negative energy that was in the mirror. If you just bought the mirror at a store, then your good luck will last only a couple of days and will not be all that severe. If you use an old mirror, though, then your lucky streak will be far more powerful, and it may last a few months or maybe even years. If you had an old enough mirror, that is. Now, if you use a mirror that has more personal connection to you, such as a bathroom mirror or a mirror in your bedroom, then the good fortune you experience will be more suited to your particular tastes and desires.
One more thing I should probably warn you about is the timing of the ritual. The ritual needs to be started after sunset, with at least 6 hours until dawn. Two common tricks that people try to use in regards to this ritual are starting during the daytime and starting just a few minutes before dawn. Starting near dawn is probably the least dangerous of these little cheats. If you start near the dawn, then the negative energy will not have enough time to fully manifest before being purified. The energy will then simply dissipate into the air rather than doing anything, and you will probably walk away thinking it was all a gigantic hoax.
Starting during the day is more dangerous. People start during the day thinking that the daylight will instantly nuke the bad energy and keep them safe. This is not true. Because notice that I said it was the lights of dawn that have the purifying power, not the light of day. By starting during the day, you actually give the bad luck more time to pursue you, and thus decrease your odds of survival rather significantly. Now, you might know that a lot of people will call you stupid or crazy for attempting this ritual. I wouldn't, though. I can understand the thinking that goes into it. I can understand wanting to take control of your luck, both good and bad, rather than accepting the seemingly random twists and turns that life seems to throw at us. But let me say something, ladies and gentlemen, that other than my one companion, the opposite sex does find me quite attractive. But I will leave you to figure out for yourself whether or not you should try that ritual.
At your own risk, of course.
I don't know. I think the two of us have found it quite useful so far. Oops, wasn't supposed to say that. Now, how will you rate that one story?
Quite good. It was quite a well thought out ritual.
I would say 4 out of 5, not because we've performed it or anything. Anyway, moving on. We have another tale for you. An interesting one. This one comes in the form of a nursery rhyme. Have you ever heard...
Which you need to send me.
Which I need to send you. And I will do so immediately. There you go. All sent. Yes. Now I'm going to modify the text on screen before I forget. Because this tale, ignoring the clown that just popped up on screen, is called This Old Man. God, I hate fucking clowns. Seriously, maybe the next time I do the mirror ritual...
Have you watched it, my friend?
No.
I have.
No. No. We do not speak. We do not speak of it. Oh, silence with your creepy laughter. You scare people more than these rituals do, I bet. She's muffling herself now. Isn't that adorable?
Oh no, I'm just thinking about ways to terrorize you with clowns now. Oops, did I say that aloud?
Well, if you find a clown pasta, I'll happily read it. But seriously, don't. I fucking hate clowns. Those absolute bastards. Evil bastards. Dark, evil things.
Says the person who found out a clown voice.
Terrifies people, yes, I know. Quite lovely, I must say. Right. Now we will begin the tale of this old man. If you are ready, my dear wanderer.
Of course.
Then let's begin. One day, I was looking at a random wiki article, and I'd found one about a ritual. I was curious, so I looked into it, and the end result of the ritual was summoning a demon of a demented old man. There was an old man who enjoyed the screams of terror from people. He loved to make children scared the most. He didn't do it for a sensual thrill, no. He just found joy in striking fear into others. He loved the screams of children more because it was easier. For years and years he had been scaring the living crap out of others, until he found it boring. A few days passed and he got himself an idea. Do tell them.
He went as far as killing himself in front of a child. He laughed as he died. His soul, however, still hungered the fear it had gotten used to striking in others, and it wanted more. The demon he had embodied made a chant. The chant was placed in the song, This Old Man. The person performing the ritual had to put the song on the radio, and then sing the last words of the song to summon the old man. He would manifest into a mangled, shadow-like figure. The demon wouldn't leave until the song was finished.
Oh dear. Well, Ladies and gentlemen, please do try these rituals. They're absolutely safe, we guarantee. Now, I thought it would be fun to try this out. So, I did love the feeling of being scared after all. So I grabbed an old radio and a tape recording of the song, and then I collected salt and a few mirrors. The last thing I grabbed was an iron needle. I put the radio down in the middle of my living room and then surrounded the radio in salt so the demon wouldn't escape. I then sat the mirrors down and on the outer edge of the salt circle. This was so that I could see the manifestation of the old man. I set and lit the candles around the area to see, and then I shut off the lights. I pricked my finger with the needle and put a drip of blood on the tape. I then put the tape inside the radio and played it, and I began to sing the normal song. My dear Wanderer, why don't you take this part?
One moment to remember the tune.
This old man,
he played one. He played knick-knack on my tongue with a knick-knack, paddywhack, tinkle on the bone. This old man came rolling home. This old man, he played two. He played knick-knack on my shoe with a knick-knack, paddywhack, tinkle on the bone. This old man came rolling home. I sang until I finished on 10, then I skipped to 21. This is where the lost lyrics stop.
Ooh, I will take this part.
This old man, he played 21, he played knick-knack, but it was no fun. With a knick-knack, paddywhack, tinkle on the bone, this old man never came home. This old man, he played 22, he said that I'm going to scare you. With a knick-knack, paddywhack, tinkle on the bone, this old man never came home. This old man, he played 23. He took my rope away from me. With a knick-knack, paddywhack, tinkle on the bone, this old man never came home. This old man, he played 24. He told me that he wanted more. And with a knick-knack, paddywhack, tinkle on the bone, this old man never came home. This old man, he played 25. He said, I don't want to be alive. With a knick-knack, paddywhack, tinkle on the bone, this old man never came home. This old man, he played 26. He hung himself just for the kicks. With a knick-knack, paddywhack, tinkle on the bone, this old man never came home.
I began to see a pitch-black figure in my mirror, and it seemed to be laughing. I was filled with fear. I never found a ritual that actually worked, and I began again, trying to get the ritual over with.
Why don't you take this part?
This old man, he played 27. He never made it to heaven. With a knick-knack, paddywhack, tickle on the bone, this old man never came home. This old man, he played 28. His soul was filled up with hate. With a knick-knack, paddywhack, tickle on the bone, this old man never came home.
I
I
saw
saw the shadow grow.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
One large eye in the middle of its face, and it began to smile. I feared for my life, and I rushed through the final verse.
This old man, he played 29. He said, you will always be mine. With a knick-knack, paddywhack, tinkle on the bone, this old man had found his home.
Right, so I'm never reading children's rhymes again. Not even for my future child. This is no. So, what did you think of this one?
Quite nice. They did very good with the verses.
I think they did too, but yeah, it's a bit short, so I'm going to go with a 4 out of 5 as well for this one. Very good work. Now then, the next tale we have for you is something that has been done before, but not with Wander Fen, so we're going to redo it. Right here on Black Sunday Readings, Creepiest Stories, Session 3. We're going to read for you a tale called The Lord of the Scarecrows. And it is quite a fun tale, I must say. Now, I have sent the link to my dear wanderer. While she gets it up, I will...
I have it.
Excellent. The Lord of the Scarecrows. I love how that screaming face always pops up whenever I have to type things. And the masked people just stare at me. Lovely. Beautiful. Right. Why don't you begin this tale, since you've always wanted it, so go ahead.
In this place, where tales of terror draw forth the most loathsome of emotions, stop for a moment, dear seeker, and reflect. Is there someone that you really and truly hate? Someone who has worsened your life by their influence? A person with whom you can never hope to get even? Perhaps a former friend turned to betrayal, an ex-lover whose wanton heart left yours in pieces, perchance an employer, a family member, a stranger who inflicted the barest slights. Think hard and you'll come up with an answer. Then, know this. You can have your revenge.
Can I? Can I? My
That you
word,
can.
I dare say there's someone that immediately I need to use this ritual on. So let's find out more about it so I can begin it tomorrow. Right. In an isolated field, in a place where civilization has worn thin into the whelming green of nature, you will find the thing you seek. It will not be an easy journey. There is no guarantee you will emerge from this ordeal unscathed. But if you're truly serious about this hatred, and I am, if your heart burns with unslakable vengeance, and it does, then, my child, arise one morning at dawn and steel your will. You'll need every ounce of determination you can draw from your reservoir of hate. Mine is large, so I should have no trouble with that. Tell them more.
When you are sufficiently ready, go and procure a vehicle, one you won't mind taking through rough and open country. Ensure that it is well fueled and well maintained. You will not have the luxury of pit stops on this trip. Ideally, you should bring with you any victuals you feel you will need to sustain yourself, but nothing else. Bring with you a map or some form of location device. Becoming lost is an integral part of this process, and presumably, you'll want to find your way back.
After you have prepared... Oh, pardon? Pardon? What did you say?
Presumably, of course.
Well, I would want to find my way back to see that my revenge has been exacted, of course. Right. So after you have prepared, arise the next morning, just before dawn, enter your vehicle and begin to drive. The general direction in which you travel is of little consequence, but you can greatly expedite this process by moving away from any urban or civic areas. The more rural your location, the closer you will be. As you drive, you must stay alert. Keep your eyes open for the signs that others do not see. My child, you must follow the crows. Seek out the roads where they nest upon the power lines. Turn down streets where you see them flies. You will likely become lost, and doubtless you will find yourself driving in circles, but take heart, as this is only bringing you closer to your goal.
Crows are intelligent creatures, you see. They are capable of recalling faces, using tools, and complex communication. When they see you following them, they will know what it is that you seek. After a time, if you are patient, they will begin to lead you. If you happen to lose sight of them, or if, indeed, they do not appear for you at all, then the time is not yet right for your pilgrimage, and you must return home at once. You may attempt the trip at a later date, but do not worry overmuch. True revenge knows the meaning of patience.
Does it now? Tell them more.
As the day wears on and the crows lead you forward, you will doubtless begin to notice a shift in your surrounding areas. You will find yourself in places you never knew existed, in towns ancient and foreign, overgrown by the festering wilds. There will be no other cause at this point. No signs of life, save for the crows guiding you. At this point, you have crossed over into its domain. You are a trespasser here, and to return to your world is impossible. You must persist now, whatever should come your way.
I have to say, by the way, the only reason I'm taking this position on camera is because I realize it looks like I've got a clown face. I really look like a grinning evil clown, and it's beautiful. It's scary, and I like terrifying people. Now then, as the day wears on, the crows will lead you forward. You will doubtlessly begin to notice a shift in your surrounding areas. You will find yourself in places you never knew existed, in towns ancient and forgotten, overgrown
You're
with festering
reading
wiles.
previous verse.
Oh, my apologies. Very soon after your transition, the crows will begin to take you off the roads themselves. You have to travel across open fields and treacherous terrain. If you are careful in your selection, your vehicle should be able to navigate most of these challenges, but eventually there will come a point where you can drive no further. At times, a rocky outcrop will impede your progress. At others, a roaring stream will prevent passage. Whatever form this impediment takes, you must thereafter proceed on foot. Exit your vehicle quickly, but make note of its location. Bring nothing with you. You are a pilgrim in a sacred space. The luxury of the material is no longer yours to possess. The crows will slow when they see you on foot, but they will themselves continue to progress. They are called here, just the same as you, so be swift. No matter what, you must return to your vehicle before the sun sets. Night in this place is not hospitable to intruders, and the seething things that skitter and click in the dark places of this world are always hungry.
It may be a short distance, or it may be miles, but eventually you will come across a thick glade of ancient trees. There will be no mistaking this location. Crows will fill the air, gathering from all directions and converging upon the blighted wood. As you pass through the trees, you will see a greater multitude of the dark fowl than you have ever seen before. They will line every branch, cover every root and patch of land, yet, in spite of their preternatural numbers, there will be a whelming quiet over the area, with the only sounds being the faint rustle of wings of new arrivals, each eager to take its place in the arboreal auditorium.
As you reach the edge of the wood, you will find it open into a large rectangular field surrounded on all sides by the forest. The ground itself will be withered and barren, ringed by blighted remains of plants that foolishly grew too close to this sanctuary. The air here will be cold and acrid, and you will likely begin to feel weak as the very ground you stand on repels the life burning impiously inside you.
It is here, in the center of this place, that you will find the Lord of Scarecrows. It will be erected on an iron cross, its form made of hide and bone, stitched with sinew and decorated with the limbs and adornments of the local fauna. Amidst this twisting aberration, you will, however, be able to make out the distinct form of a human body, rising up in mock crucifixion, its flesh all rotted out and dried. Over its head, it will wear a hooded mask of stitched together skin, and its face will be completely obscured to you.
This is an ancient and sacred thing, an altar and effigy to a thing older than the ground upon which you stand. It will not do well to dwell on its nature, as this thing is something far beyond mortal comprehension, and to glimpse upon it would be to see into the very primordial ether of creation itself. So steel your nerve and approach, but be reverent. This is a church of greater magnitude than the grandest of basilica, and you will not wish to anger this idol. In its right hand you will see clutched tight a knife of blackest obsidian, wickedly sharp, and with a handle carved from bone. In the other it will bear a roll of coarse cloth. Take both, gently and humbly, it will yield them to you.
Kneel before it, and state that you wish to make an offering of a sinner. Then, using the knife, make an incision somewhere on your body. The bite of the blade will be sharp and swift, and you will bleed quite profusely. Be careful not to wound yourself fatally, however, lest this effort all be wasted. Gathering up the blood pouring from your rent flesh, scrawl the name of your intended target upon the cloth. As you write, think upon the sins person has committed. Every act of cruelty, every bitterly unfair word or deed, does not matter how trivial. All that matters now is the hate that burns inside you.
Oh my. It would likely surprise you how much blood it takes to write the full name of your sacrifice. I'm sorry, I was recalling her name for a moment. And I remember it perfectly. How quaint. Now, when you have finished, roll up the cloth tightly and carefully peel the hood up just far enough to reveal the skeletal mouth of the effigy. Insert the cloth between its parted teeth and then return the hood to its original position. Now slather up the knife with your blood so that the blade is completely coated. Once it drips with crimson life, plunge it into the heart of the idol and speak these words. My sacrifice is made.
You are free to go after this, but make haste. Doubtless you will have little time left before the dying sun sets beyond the horizon. As you make your way back out through the forest, you will no longer hear tranquil silence. The air will be filled with whispers, with the recitations of sins and wicked deeds. Do not linger here. When you return to your vehicle, begin driving until you reach the road. Then go as fast as you can towards the direction of the setting sun. The shadows of this place will begin to grow and shift, but if you have followed these directions perfectly, just as the sun sinks down, a blinding flash should consume the horizon, and when it fades, you should be back in the world of the living, your car idling on an empty but otherwise normal street. Find your way back home from here, and rest. You have earned your reward.
Over the next year, the victim whose name you offered will begin to wither. All goodness and fortune will quit their lives, and every endeavor will bring them only bitter tragedy. When at last they finally die, 1 year from the moment you completed the ritual, they will be broken thoroughly in mind, body, and spirit, and at last your vengeance will be satisfied. From that day forward, however, you will always be unsettled by the sight of crows and the hushed whispers they bring beneath their ebony wings. You will feel as if they watch you, keeping track of every vice, of every sin and misstep, and not just of you, of everyone, of everything, almost as if they existed only to observe and relay the wickedness of man to it that waits, with silent anticipation to serve as its ultimate executioner. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have someone you hate, do let us know if the ritual succeeded. Now, what do you rate that lovely story?
I adore that one.
Shall I give it our first 5 out of 5?
That you shall. I think it also nudges towards both of us quite a bit at the point.
Oh my, oh my. Well, if you're going to attempt it, tell you what, why don't we both make a sacrifice? You do that one person, I'll do the other.
No, I think I would rather have a more personal revenge. My life succeeding while their life falls into ash. Anyway.
Cruel, but then again, that is why I don't mind partnering with you. I think we've enough time for one more. Would you like to find a random story?
Sure, give me a moment.
While you do so, I will also look and see if I can find something. Oh my god, okay, I found something.
Alright.
It's called the Tamura-san ritual. It's a Japanese ritual. Kind of like Tomine Knows Hell. Kind of. And, you know, the image that popped up at that moment was the clown sort of beckoning you into the shadows. That was too appropriate for it. So, clearly it means we must read this ritual. I will now send you the details. And I will read this ritual in the voice of Genji. because it is appropriate for a Japanese ritual to have a Japanese voice actor. Now, let me begin by writing the details of this story into the description of our YouTube video. This way, everyone will know exactly how this ritual can be carried out. This Tamura-san ritual is probably not the best to attempt if you are squeamish or easily frightened. Have you brought up the ritual, Wanderer Chen?
Oh yes, I do have it.
Did I just say Wanderer Chen? Whoops. Bad pronunciation. Okay, anyway. Going back to my Genji voice. We're now going to read for you the Tamura-san ritual. The Tamura-san ritual is one of vengeance, and I warn you not to try it if you value your sanity. To give some backstory, Tamura was a middle school student who, even though she was quiet and nice, was bullied. One day, Tamura's bullies had told a classmate that she liked him, and he reacted by calling her a weirdo and telling her that he would never be with her. Tamura was so hurt that she ran home after that, telling her parents that she did not want to go back. They did not listen to her and told her that she needed to ignore the bullies and move on. Tamura tried this, but the teasing got worse until eventually Tamura wasn't in class. No one really noticed until a few periods later, when the star of the English class hasn't arrived. The teacher asked if anyone had seen her, and most students said that they had that morning. A few girls volunteered to look for her, and the teacher led them. They soon found Tamura hanging in the bathroom stall, with a suicide note pinned to her chest.
If you have everything, you have everything, so why did you hurt someone who had nothing? It read. Many people did not understand it, but the bullies did. They thought that if no one knew who caused it, they would be fine. That proved not to be true when their bodies were found. Tamura-san will exact vengeance on anyone who hurts someone. She is just and fair. She will give them what they deserve, and if it comes to that, what you deserve.
A disclaimer from us. Do not attempt the Tamura-san ritual if you are in a great social standing or have committed offenses of the same nature and or status as the person you wish to curse. I do not take responsibility for the actions you take to perform this ritual or the results that this ritual gives you. The choice to do this ritual is entirely up to you. Now then, we will tell you more about this ritual. Wonderfan, please do tell them the persons, locations, and the supplies that they will need.
Of course. For persons, you will need at least 3 participants. 1 assistant. The assistant cannot participate in the ritual as a stipulation. For location, you must do this in a school bathroom with 3 or more stalls, a girl's bathroom only. For best results, do this after school when not many people are around and most lights are off. For supplies, you will need a couple things. A small pair of blonde woman's shoes. Shoes like Tom's will work as long as they are white or beige, but the best choice is a pair of white loafers. At least 3 candles, a large amount of alcohol-based hand sanitizer, red spider lilies, at least 3 long lighters or matches, salt, and finally a small bowl for each member.
Alright, now I will tell you the steps to perform this ritual. Once again, do not actually attempt this ritual unless you are serious about it and have committed no offenses. First, you will begin by placing the shoes in the middle of the restroom, facing the opposite direction of the stalls. Do not face them toward you. That is very important. Pour hand sanitizer onto each of the candles 3/4 of the way to the wick. Note, this can be a bit of a fire hazard, so please be careful. Because remember, your hand sanitizer is alcoholic. All participants will place their candle filled with hand sanitizer onto a toilet seat in their own stall. 1 person per stall. Everyone will light their candle in the store simultaneously. Only wash the wick, not the alcohol. If you do accidentally light the alcohol first instead of the wick, or you cannot get the candle to light, snuff out the flame and leave the restroom. The assistant will now come in and flick off the lights. All fires should be burning blue. If one is not, that person is likely to not be visited. These are fox fire mimics, and they will lead Tamura-san to the store. Walk backwards out of your store while chanting, Tamura-san, 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 and close the store door. Stop about when you are 1 foot away from the store and surround yourself with a circle of salt. Do not turn around. Do not look at the other participants. Continue chanting until you hear either rope thrashing or small thumps. One of the stores is now inhabited by the spirit of Tamura-san. If multiple participants hear thumping or rope stretching, end the ritual immediately. It means that there are more spirits here. Call the assistant back in so he or she can turn on the lights. Wait a few moments until the sounds dissipate, and then you may exit your circle. If nothing went wrong, one member should be able to hear the rope or stumps from their store. Be completely sure that it is your store and do not exit the short circle early. Once you are sure, the member who has Tamura-san in her store shall tell her, Tamura-san, victim's name, has wronged me. Please exact vengeance on my behalf. The member who has made contact will then press their red spider lilies into their bowl and slide them under the store. They will then say, I give this to you as a gift, Tamura-san. May you find peace in your next life. I must absolutely say this now, as someone who lives in Asia, do not curse someone who does not deserve it. Tamura-san may come back to punish you. Curse someone only if you think they would deserve something as great as death. Once the sound of the rope and the thumbs have stopped, you may call the assistant to turn on the lights. Do not pick up anything but the salt. Their shoes must stay where they are. Do not attempt to retrieve the flowers either. You are now finished the ritual. Tamura-san should exact vengeance soon. Vengeance can range from a small accident to death. The person who made contact may not return to their restroom for the rest of the semester. Do not ever attempt to turn around or attempt to see... in fact, Wanderer-san, Wanderer-fan, could you please tell them the warnings?
For warnings, do not ever turn around or attempt to see other participants during the ritual. Do not talk to each other during the ritual, with the exception of calling the assistant in. The only person permitted to speak is the one who makes contact. Do not attempt to remove anything from the ritual. If you have any psychic abilities, I strongly suggest not doing this, as you may get sick and jeopardize your group safety. And finally, do not attempt to open the stall doors after closing them. If they open on their own, however, you should be just fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed that, and of course my Japanese accent as well. I tried to be as authentic as possible. Wanderfen, what would you rate this tale?
A little short, but it works for a ritual story. More of a list than our normal ones.
True, but I also think it was pretty excellently done.
That it was.
I think I'll go with 4.5 out of 5 because as someone who lives in Asia, this fucking terrifies me. So I'm not visiting restrooms for like the next 7 years.
My friend, it only deals with women's restrooms.
I'm not visiting restrooms, period, for 7 years, man. This is terrible shit. Do you know how fucking much this terrifies me? I'm not, if I work overtime, how am I supposed to go to the bathroom now? I ain't going to no bathroom anymore, hell no.
Especially not at night.
Especially not at night, oh god. Tamura-san! Fuck.
No, there might just be a clown sitting in there.
Oh, shut up. That is the worst. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you've enjoyed our readings for today. Thank you so much for being here. We do appreciate it. And of course, if you do try any rituals and you die, please let us know. Not by haunting us. You will let us know by writing in the YouTube comments from hell. They have internet access there. We've checked. YouTube works from there. The extension is called YouTube 666, so you might want to familiarize yourself with that. It's a general account. You can post from there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you on another Sunday for even more
Farewell.
black readings. Farewell.